Let's look into the viewfinder just like everyone else. Hey, I'm Denise Diane, sitting here in my bed, watching those videos, and I always wonder, why don't they just take off their raggedy fingernail polish? Do it again. But I so want to be viewed. So I'll just leave it on like this. Oh my gosh, I gotta take this off. So anyway, I'm getting ready to take my nail polish off. And it seems really late at night because it gets dark so early. And like I took a nap and everything. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm gonna talk about there because I'm here. And you're there. I know you are. And just listened to some Radiohead. I wanted to mention how when I was just recently on the train, I'm just thumbing through the book, and I was listening to There by Radiohead. So, yeah, Tommy Orange is going to be, as I keep saying, in Denton, Texas. They have a book club. I think they had several different book club names. Maybe different book clubs meet there, but, well, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know the name of the book club unless I look at that video that I made. And I'm still not sure if it's the book club that is going to be presenting Tommy Orange, who's going to be there November 20th at the Patchouli Joe's bookstore. They got soaps and incense. I bought some incense. They said I'd get a free soap if I joined this thing, and then they didn't give me my free soap. But we were talking about a whole bunch of stuff. She didn't give me my card unless they keep it there. I don't know how it works. I will find out. But there's Mr. Tommy Orange. Hopefully I can get him to sign my book on November the 20th in Denton. My hair's a hot mess. Don't worry about it. Don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, mama. Hi, Amy. Don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, mama. What did I think of Tommy Orange's There? And it started off really good. I thought it was, I like all the little different characters that he's, not little. Little is a euphemism. It's just a word we use all the time. Little this, little that. So when I say that, now I always have to explain. Just because I'm not going to explain. Anyway, so there's a lot of characters introduced into the book. Each chapter is the name of a said character, right? And you get to know them, and as often as the style of writing is done where each character is introducing, each chapter has a new character, right? And you wonder if they're going to repeat that character because you kind of got interested in one character, or a couple of characters that stand out to you, their stories, and then it goes to another chapter and it's somebody else being introduced, and you get into them a little bit, and then you still kind of wonder how they're going to fit into this other person's story. You kind of want to know, basically about 4 or 5 different characters, different chapters. You do gravitate towards one of the stories where you want to hear more, and you hope the story makes them more of a central character than constantly introducing someone else. That happens, right? I'm hoping that it happens to me, so I'm sure it happens to other readers. So I will say this: there's a lot of different characters, and the stories are very interesting. But something about the writing style is kind of It's not smooth at all. It's the whole there, and I mean, is this a book? Is it really a book? Is it a book because it has pages? Is it a book because somebody read it? And it's a book because it's a, if you're a reader and you pick up this thing that actually has words in it, does that make you a reader? And or does that make the book an actual book? Or does that make you a book reader? That kind of a thing constantly goes on. That's not out of this book. I'm just saying that whole circle of there is in here, okay, in this book. And yeah, so you get used to it, and so you're kind of expecting that's just the writing style. But something happens, okay, when you start to repeat the characters. So, say for instance, there's a Tony Lineman. I think that's his name. One of the characters' names. There's an Opal. There's an Orville. There's the Looney, whatever. Lonnie's or Loney's, Pony Loney, whatever. Jackie Redfeather. So once you start to hear about the characters over and over, you get to become familiar with them. You want to understand where he's going with it after a while. And so it's all about to me, and this is just me, what I picked up centrally from this book. They're all Native Americans, and some of them look more white than they do Native Americans. And it's all about, like, let me just say this. This is what I think. Okay. So the Native Americans obviously were here first here in America, right? This is their homeland. This is all they know. Until colonization came, and then, called them, slipped up and thought, when a colonizer came over here and thought he was an Indian, called them Indians, and they're really not Indians. And so in the story, they want to know, like, what makes them Indians, or, they're asking, a parent or someone to explain, or they're trying to explain to their kids how to be Indian, or, that kind of a thing. And to me, it's like, these people were here, they're Native Americans, that's what they are, until colonization happened, and then they have to figure out how is it to be Indian. How is it to be a Native American? Is it the dances, the powwow? Is it their spirituality? Is it their chanting, their just the way they wear their hair, their makeup, or they're out in the world, or back into the the reservations, the drinking that so gets attached to them, the sad face Indian on TV, all these different types of things, what makes them Indian or more Native American. How do they, act this way? To me, it's almost like, not almost like, to me, what I feel is they didn't have to, there was no need for the definition or defining of themselves until the colonizers came, killed them, scalped them, bled them, murdered them, pushed them off, into the corners of America. And now they're grappling with how to be Indian. What does it mean for them to be Indian? And so I don't want to spoil it and talk about specifics, but one of the characters that I really like is the uncle and the nephew and the mother. And there's too many names in here for me to get them right now. I finished this book today. So anyway, this dynamic with this mother whose brother is just dreamy. He's supposed to be writing these books, and the mother tells, the nephew, her son, is interested in what his uncle has to say and his dreams about writing this movie. That's what it is. And so the mother, his sister, is like, oh, he's never going to write it. It's all in his head and this, that, and the third. So she doesn't believe in him, right? Because he's probably been saying this thing about this, not probably, he has been talking about making a movie or some sort of entertainment and telling the story. He has the whole idea, right? But he just hasn't done anything with it. And could it be the drugs, the drinking, the whatever? Okay, that's for you to read and find out. I don't want to spoil it, but that's, to me, the best part of the book is him. And I almost spoiled it, but to me, that's the best part of the book is him talking about the film, and then his nephew and where he goes with this idea or his belief in his uncle, and everything else kind of is going on in these people's lives. And there's a point where they the whole Alcatraz thing, I just really can't explain it without just telling you, word by word what's going on in the book. And I just don't, I went into this pretty much blind. Yes, I listened to people talk about how good it was, but nobody really mentioned a lot of it. And so I don't want to do that either. And for those who did, I would skip past because I was reading this book. I'm sorry, DJ, I'm talking to myself, so don't interrupt. I'm not talking to you. Anyway, so the disconjointed way of his writing style and the beginnings of this book and even in the middle, but when this big thing happens, that's all these characters kind of meet up. When this thing happens, and I can't say what happens because, again, that's a spoiler, but when this thing happens, his writing becomes better. This whole criminal type of thing happens, I will say that. And it's, the big crescendo at the end. But his writing style, I mean, completely, totally shifts. And that's why I think this book is getting so much notoriety. I mean, it's a Pulitzer Prize finalist. And, several different prizes. And the New York Times top 10 best books of the year and all that. Now, when I was reading this, I'm thinking, even when I finished it, I'm thinking, I wouldn't run off and tell somebody to hurry up and read this. It's not that important to me. It's good. And the writing, like I said, it does get better. But where it gets better is kind of like, I'm thinking, is it on purpose? Was it supposed to get better? Is that why it's more descriptively beautiful and poetic? There's one chapter in there that's so beautiful and poetic. I'm thinking, oh, now he becomes a writer. But it also, because I felt that way, and I'm thinking, how long did it take him to write this book? Like, how many did he stop and start? Because the writing doesn't flow from the beginning, middle, and end. It gets better as if he learned how to write better, or was this on I don't think that's on purpose. I think that was a fluke of, I don't know, of time that went by. I don't know. What are your thoughts if you read it? I don't know. But something about the beginnings of this book, and there was I don't know if I was trying to grammar correct some of the things that were in here, or maybe they didn't edit. There's some parts in here that I don't think they were edited right, because, or was he just trying to say that for the sake of Native American talk, and this is how they, I don't know, it didn't work. It felt disconjointed and discombobulated and all the other disses, right? However, at this one particular part where it got very poetic, same dang characters. So that's what I'm saying. It's not like a bunch of other new characters were introduced and then the writing got better because those characters, maybe their flow and he wanted to set a tone for those characters. No, it was the same, all the same characters, but then the writing got better and so beautiful. And that's what I think saved this book for me, because I was like, this is a 2.5 star in the beginning, then it's a 3, and then right at the end, and that one particular chapter also pretty much put this to a 4. It's definitely not a 5. I don't care what nobody say. If this is a Pulitzer Prize finalist, I can understand why it didn't win. Let me just say that. And that may be hardcore because I ain't wrote no book not like this. But I'm a reader and I can say what I want to say. And this is how it made me feel, that it was just, and, you know, I'm going to ask him if I get a chance to talk to him on November the 20th. How long did it take you to write this book, and why is it so kind of harsh to read at the beginning? Not harsh in respect of what's happening. Like, your writing was terrible at the beginning. And in the middle, it got a little bit better because maybe I was more familiar with the characters. But then this one chapter, which of course you wrote it so poetically beautiful that, did somebody else help you write it, or is this just where you wanted to start getting very literary and poetic and beautiful? Because the writing, I'm telling you, it's almost like it went from a junior high school kid writing to a high school kid that maybe took some American literature classes, and then a college professor that has maybe several books out and done some poetry circuits and, you know, been around in writing. Like, it gets beautiful. But why did you wait so long? That's gonna, like, why did you wait? Because I put this book down so many times at the beginning, and you can actually see what I mean. There's more tabs in the beginning of this book, and at the end of this book there's no tabs, because the flow is so beautiful, the writing is so beautiful. What's the point of stopping and thinking about things? So it was a 3-star. I was not going to recommend it at all until that particular chapter in the end. And I still won't say, oh, hurry up and run out and buy this book, because I'm not an influencer like that anyway. You can read what you want to read. And although I get influenced by books all the time. Booktubers, but mainly the library, as I tell you all the time. But I wanted to read this, and I did. Was it worth it? Yeah, it was worth the read. Would I highly, 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 highly recommend it? No. There's so many more better books. Would I want you to miss out on how it got better and that one particular point and at the end? I don't know. I really don't know. I think it's worth the read, though. But I wouldn't say just run out and spend your coin. Maybe check it out at the library. I don't know. There's something about the beginning of the writing style. Just, I need to know. But he does have another book out, and they mention it in this particular book, you know, selling his next book with